Hi, everybody. This is Bo Yoder for 3D Apex Trading. I just wanted to respond to some of the emails that we've been getting from the last webinar. For those of you who haven't had a chance to join us, there are both recorded and scheduled sessions, so you can go ahead and get yesterday's webinar on demand, or you can go ahead and schedule and join us for a scheduled webinar at rethinkyourroi.info. So anyway, in response to a couple of emails that we got out of the last webinar, we talk a lot about the 3D Apex trading methodology, which it's really a universal analysis tool set. It's a group of measurement tools. We talk a lot about how that's universal, and we had some sort of challenges to that because we do use the NinjaTrader platform to run these proprietary tools in our live trading environment. And that's really just for convenience. It's a great program. We like using it. We don't get any kind of kickbacks. We don't have any kind of marketing arrangement with them. We're consumers of their software. But 3D Apex is not tied to a particular type of software. Now, think about this. In terms of freedom, one of the big freedoms that you have is the ability to work with any broker that you choose, trying to find one that offers the best service package. And then, of course, you don't want to be enslaved to any one software package. Imagine if you built this entire trading program and we're making 6 or 7 figures a year based around some programming aspect of a specific trading platform. Okay, great. You're making tons of money. Life is good. Well, then the platform goes under, or they get purchased or merged, and then all of a sudden your entire business is gone overnight. Don't laugh. I've seen it happen. There's been a lot of turmoil in the trading world in my about 15 years of doing this full time. I've seen companies come and go. I've seen companies be dominant and then blow themselves up. So you really need to be agnostic in that way. You need to be able to use price data irregardless of where that price data exists. So just to prove the point, here is a little bit of analysis that we can go through on freestockcharts.com. So as you join us and begin going through the training, you'll be able to have all the parameters you need to set this up. But just to show, here's a free charting package. And again, this is pretty amazing for me. When I first started, this kind of package would have cost $300 to $500 a month. And here I am looking at it on the internet for free. So you live in a very excellent time. Never has been the timing better to start looking at trading as a business. So that's the first aspect of this that I want to do. The second is to just show how much money is available when the market's really not doing anything. So here we have a daily chart of Kellogg, so big blue chip kind of a stock, and you can see that just over the course of this, this is about, let's see, this is like April to the present. So many months going by here, nothing's happened in the stock. Let's say you were an investor and you bought right here at the very beginning. You bought in somewhere around $65. It's now $66.50. You've made $1.50. Almost no profitability available in that market. However, let's take a look at this market with 3D Apex. I want to show you again that the accuracy and the precision of your analysis methodology is what really delivers your profitability, not the market screaming up or screaming down, which is, again, a real limiting belief that we tried to help you get over in the webinar. All right, so here we have a market that comes up, it comes back down, it hits this orange line, which is our 50-period moving average. Blue line is the 20, the yellow line is the 10, and the pink dotted line is the 100 moving average. And these are all simple moving averages, nothing fancy there. It's just a great area of technical focus for people. So that was an area of solid support. So let's go back actually and add a little more data here so we can value that support using the 3D Apex methodology. So we can see here, this is our momentum indicator, our power indicator. Very simply put, this is a simple and intuitive, very dynamic way to measure objectively the impact that the power will have on support and resistance. So in this case, we have a test of support, but on a huge negative bulge of momentum. Let's go ahead and kind of zoom that back so you can only, as if it were real time. Notice as we test here, if I go ahead and use my crosshair tool, that we had momentum pushed down to new lows, right? We broke below this last swing low in momentum. Now that tells you that there's lots of power there, and this would be a very dangerous support level to be involved with. So that's great. In the webinar, we talk about the first mover advantage and the fast second. This is a great example of that. So as we move forward in time, just go ahead and kind of creep forward here, you can see that the momentum begins to degrade here, and it pushes higher. Now, on the face of it, that seemed like a fairly decent trade in retrospect, right? Well, you have to remember that even if the trade has a 90% chance of failure, 10 out of 100 of those really crappy trades are going to end up paying for you. So don't get lost in that. Remember, this is a statistical analysis process. And just the same way that if you've got a 99% disadvantage, if the market's 99% against you, there's still that 1 in 100 chance that the trade will work out. But what we really want to focus on is not this trade and the money that we missed. That's a classic, excuse me, classic psychological trap. Instead, we want to wait for the best timing. This bulge in momentum tells us that there's going to be a fast second trade coming, that there's going to be a second opportunity for entry. We don't necessarily know where. We can't really predict and forecast that, but we can predict and forecast with a high degree of accuracy that if we just sit on our hands, there's going to be an elegant entry in Kellogg to the long side. Now, why are we biased to the long side? Well, 50-period moving average is our trend delineator. It's moving to the upside. Again, super intuitive, super simple. You don't need a college degree in technical analysis to understand and utilize the 3D Apex methodology. Okay, so now look at what's happened. We've got a rotating cycle here. Market's now pushing to the downside. Momentum's really pushing up. Now that's looking pretty good. So let's see now if we come back to the 50. Yeah, we sure do. And then we crush back down to new lows. So now I want you to understand what has happened here. Throughout this whole time of rally, you were feeling suckered, right? You were feeling like the market hates you. You're just frustrated. Here's another trade you missed. Think of all the money you could have made. But this market was in an uptrend. Uptrends are consisting of higher lows and higher highs. So you would have expected this market to break up above this high, above 67, and move higher to really pay off for you. Instead, it rallied up. It gave you the false sense of security, some false profits, came back down, looked like it was going to test the 50-period moving average and bounce. It even suckered in some people who bought into that pullback, and then it just blew the doors off as it came down to the 100-period moving average. Well, now you knew that the likelihood of that was extremely high using the 3D Apex methodology. You had this really clear bulge in momentum to the downside. Now what's happened? Well, we've got prices that are lower. Let me pull out that crosshair tool. Look at this. We've broken to a new low. We're in an area of support, and we have higher levels of momentum. So even though price is dropping lower, there's really not much sponsorship to that move. There's not that crushing weight in the market that the power indicator is measuring. This is a much more attractive trade. So now let's look for some confirmation. See if we can get a, oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Not only is it, looks like it tail's not quite long enough for this to be a classic hammer candlestick, for those of you familiar with that. And again, if you're not, our training goes through all of these details extensively, from moving averages to candlesticks, all these different analysis tools. So glossing over a few things here since we don't really have time for an in-depth lesson on that. But this is a classic buy signal. It's a piercing pattern. So there's your buy signal right there. Let's go ahead and put in a horizontal line so we can kind of remember where that is. You remember you want to break that bar in order to qualify, so a little bit higher than that bar. And let's move forward and see what happens. Okay, so do we get a turn in momentum? Sure we do. Now notice how this is all congested and kind of looking iffy. In fact, it went down below your break even. You're actually losing money on that there for one bar. Are you panicking? Not in the least. Look at that momentum. Look how it's just going straight vertical. This is an elevator for you. You know, you're on an elevator, you're in the basement, maybe it smells a little musty, but that tells you that good things are coming. So you better be patient and not shoot yourself in the foot. Sure enough, we get a nice push to the upside. Obviously, the market's rallied pretty nicely there. A wiggle is not surprising, not scary. Look at that momentum. We've now got momentum pushed to the upside. So in the same way that we could predict, based on this massive push to the downside in momentum, that this was a false signal and a dangerous one, we can now turn this whole analysis concept on its head. This becomes a positive signal. We definitely want to stay in that trade. And let's continue forward. Even though, wow, look at this deep pullback. You still have a very high likelihood, because of that momentum indicator, that this is going to push up. Sure enough, it does. Now we're right back to the highs. So now what do we think about this? Do we want to take profits here into the resistance offered by this previous top? Look at this momentum reading. We've got prices moving up. We've got just a hair. You can see there a pixel or two of momentum pushing to the upside. Definitely want to see how this unfolds. And I think this actually takes us to real time. Yep. So this is still yet unresolved. Maybe we'll check back on this in a couple of days. So keep an eye on this this same place. I'm going to put this up on the YouTube channel. And we'll see what the outcome is. But right now, this market is forecasting not only, first of all, let me notice that you got the dead low of this move based on, again, very objective tools. Nothing subjective there, nothing, no hooji-booji. You avoided a painful rally and collapse that would have cost you money. You got in at the perfect time. The indicator helped keep you in when the market was choppy and a little scary, and now you're getting the big payout move. And this indicator is telling you that there's a likelihood this is going to break to new highs. So no reason to get out. If this thing pulls back, we got plenty of momentum there. Then again, we also have nice confirmation. So there's a great example of how you can really be precise with the 3D Apex trading methodology toolset, even though the market's kind of choppy and crappy. So don't sweat chaos. If you've got the proper tools and you can objectively measure and time your entries, chaos can be very, very profitable. So again, if you haven't joined us for a webinar, please go to rethinkyourroi.info. And we'll put a link up here on the YouTube video and also below in the text area as well to join us for that. Again, you can listen to a replay anytime you like or join us for a scheduled session as you choose. We look forward to seeing you there.